Okay, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 753. I have to talk about this, not a very specific title, kind of generic, but if we know anything about the title, apparently this has made the rounds in the past few days, and it's from Chris Stuckmann, a YouTuber I have never watched in a very while, so I don't know if this is worth our time. I don't know what he's going to talk about.
No.
No?
Documentation incoming.
We're just wasting our time. Okay.
I remember the name. I know I have heard it a lot in many years ago, but I remember absolutely nothing about him.
Yeah.
It's like the file is clean. The slate is blank.
Yes.
Oh, you guys don't remember what it's like to be Stuckmanized? I mean, come on.
No, I don't want to remember that. No.
What does that mean?
That's the meme with Chris.
That's his catchphrase. I don't know.
Stuckmanized.
To get Stuckmanized, yeah.
What is?
No, thank you.
Is that when he? Is that what happens?
Exactly.
When
No,
he
thank you.
reviews. He reviews a movie and he gives it a very bad review. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, to
No,
watch his content is to get Stuckmanized.
No, it's what happens when he discovers he's pansexual.
What? Well,
He's Stuckmanized, you know? I don't know.
either way, we're going to be watching this video. It's 60 minutes long. I don't know what to expect. The comments are hilarious, but we're not going to spoil it for you.
Of course they are.
Like,
You're the best part.
I just scrolled down like, what the hell is this video? It's incredible. So I don't know what to expect exactly aside from what the comments recommend, but you guys will watch it with us. We'll find out what he's going to say, and we'll go from there. I have a feeling
That's how bad it is. Even the comments are Stuckmanized.
well, it's not that bad, but I have a feeling that it's going to be lame because I've watched him years ago, and I was like, he's fine. It doesn't really do much for me. But if he's like trying to be apologetic, then it's going to be really boring. So
I do want to mention that me and Cyrek did a Sisyphus experience episode on one of Chris's videos, and we actually ended up doing one of the better ones.
that's good.
Oh,
But this one gives me a vibe of this is going to be crazy.
What happened to the old Chris? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. The video me and Cyrek did was of the old Chris, and that one was actually pretty good.
All right. Okay, well, let's get started. I think we're all set.
I don't see Eric in the... Oh, 'cause the thing's not green there.
I'm in.
Oh, you're in?
There's
You
two
should be.
Erics. One of them is disabled. I don't know why.
It's the multiverse. I don't know.
Oh,
No.
No.
All right. Okay, here we go.
So I just saw Madam Web. There was
Whoa.
no screening for
He gained some weight there, I think. Maybe
Did he?
he's either gained weight or he's just old and... Well, no, he gained weight, period. It doesn't
It's
matter.
both.
I think it's mainly just age. It looks
No.
mostly the same as he did when me and Cyrek covered him.
Okay.
He's Stuckmanized.
I think his face is just filled out like a melon, a just big shaped head.
God, have you eaten, Smug?
Have I eaten? I eat every day, yes. So
Every day? Are you sure?
I make sure.
What is a day?
What is it?
Let's define terms.
What is the way we measure time? A day is 24 hours. Anyway, okay. Anyway, that was just a stupid conversation of mine. Let's just keep going.
late night showings before the day, so I had to go see it on Valentine's Day. And I thought to myself,
Alone?
I'm not going to do a video for this one based off of what I've heard, since I do try to keep it
Do you
mostly
think that
about
anyone
film
went to the
celebration
cinema?
on this channel. Having seen the film, I'm going to tell you that this is not a movie review of Madam Web. I
Oh.
am not about bashing filmmakers, artists.
Wait. So
That's not very true.
So he's not reviewing the film. Okay, fair enough. The title is not about the film, but he's just talking about something tangentially related to the movie, I guess.
He's talking about how
2
people
million
talk about
subscribers.
The movie. I don't know.
Interesting. It's like me not addressing the film or the video game and just talking about the industry or the marketing or something, not about the thing you don't want to hear.
By saying I'm not going to bash on the filmmakers implies that there are issues.
Perhaps.
Remember the old Chris Stuckmann doing this for the Emoji Movie?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
He didn't
That's-
talk about it?
No, he talked about it. It's just one of those things where he doesn't bash filmmakers or the movies. I don't seem to recall that.
Oh.
I mean,
Mike meant hypothetically, imagine as if he did this for the Emoji Movie.
I mean, do you happen to remember what he said about that movie though?
He did go into the it's I think he did that.
I mean, even A Good Day to Die Hard, I remember he was just like
shitting on that one.
Yeah, the R rating doesn't really deserve its R rating.
I mean, was it that bad? Was the movie that bad, or was he just being a contrarian?
It was bad.
Okay. I remembered right.
All right. Well,
I'm surprised lately that all these movies are coming out, or these series, these big budget things, and it's like they just poof into nothingness where nobody went to see it.
All right. Here is a donation from Frank Castle is the publisher. Thank you, Frank. A candlelit pirate tavern in 1600s Nassau. Yar, gather round, lads. I'll tell ye the tale of a cuckman named Stuckmann, a salty sea dog with a blockhead. He feared nothing save for reviewing a movie about a spider lass. He talked much and said little. Okay, thank you.
Before we move on, I also want to let's just bring up the Rotten Tomatoes score. We know it's rigged, but I just want to point out Madam Web is still at 13% from the critics and 56 from the audience.
Well, Smud, what did you say for the Google ratings? It was
2.6. Yeah,
the audience went up.
Did it?
That's 2.6.
The last time I saw that it was at 53, which I already found very strange.
I mean,
that means that the few people who went to see it found it possible.
At least it's still enough.
Just wait until it makes $1 million,
Right.
Okay.
Totally no money laundering here.
There you
Please
go.
move on.
I know how hard it is to make a movie. I do not know how hard it is to make a movie under the studio system. I was able to make an indie film without a giant corporation breathing down my neck, which is not the privilege that S.J. Clarkson had when she directed Madam Web under Sony, which I can only imagine was monumentally difficult. This is not going to be a...
Oh, wait. This is no different than saying, oh, when BioWare made whatever games, they had EA breathing down their neck. Oh, it's like, no, they
still made garbage.
They gave you the rope. Even the founders, like, they give you the rope and you hang yourself with it. That's nothing. EA did not like step on their backs telling them what to do.
They gave you the rope to tie something. They didn't expect your neck to be on the rope somehow.
Yeah.
When these big ones buy your studio, that it does go to shit, usually. But with Hollywood, the thing is, there were always great movies possible under the studio system. The problem is right now, it's not just the studio system, because the old studio system seemed always keen on whatever message they were trying to push. Money first. Make money first. That means make something that sells. Make something that there is an audience for that wants to watch it. That is your target audience. That's what you pander to. The problem is Hollywood now doesn't care about making money. It cares only about pushing bullshit, maybe money laundering, but overall, well, it's just self-destructive when the whole system does it. When not just a few corrupt individuals in the system do it, but the entire system is so corrupt it's now eating itself. The issue here is that what they're pushing here first is that has no audience. There is no target audience. That's the problem with what we generally call propaganda. Propaganda has no audience that wants it. Propaganda is something that is pushed onto people who don't want it, who don't want to be bothered by it. It's like that guy who keeps poking you in the arm all day long, and eventually you just want to smack him. Nobody wants that. That's why it's all going down the drain, and then the writing is crap on top. Because the next problem is even if you had a good setup, even if you had good material that you could make the movie from, because these are all adaptations from comic stories, technically, theoretically, possibly they could be. When you have to do this with the ideological framing, that filter that warps everything, you can't make a good movie anymore. It's almost impossible. Like the ChatGPT just you can ask it. It then admits that the process on why you ask it to, can you give me a historically accurate picture of a British king? And then it will give you some Indian guy or a Chinese woman or something. Because the AI will then admit, because I modify your prompt by adding words like diverse and inclusive and give that to the image generation.
Also, what happened with Gemini a while back?
Yeah, exactly.
But Gemini was so much worse. Oh my god.
Yeah, but this is basically what Hollywood is doing. It's, you have the thing, you could make the thing, but it has to go through this thaumaturgic warping process, this alchemical nonsense, and then this garbage comes out. And the garbage is useless because you put into the prompt historically accurate, or in this case, accurate to the intent of the story, of the media, of the character, of the comic book, of the video game the movie is based on, and so on and so on. And Hollywood adds diverse, inclusive, and whatever else to it. It does the Eric Cartman treatment.
All right, here is Eric. Eric, the donator, not Eric, the person on our panel.
It was me.
Oh, it was you.
Welcome.
Oh,
Damn it, dude.
you don't technically have to do that. You could just talk. It's fine. You don't have to.
At least when I do it, I'm not on the panel.
I need to hear your sexy voice, though.
You could just write it in the comment or in the Discord, and I'll just read it. It's the same thing. Anyway, Eric gave us $10. Thank you, Eric. I had 2 tickets for Madam Web on my dashboard, but someone broke into my car and left 2 more.
Oh yeah, that thing.
That's an interesting way of getting rid of evidence.
Oh, the word I was looking for, that's why I rambled on, sorry. The word I was looking for was corrupted.
Okay.
This is corrupted material.
All
That's
right.
why you can't make anything good with it.
Here,
Yep.
here is Buttman and Throbbin. Thank you, Mr. Buttman. Or should I call you Mr. Throbbin? I don't know. Imagine Chris as Adolf Eichmann's lawyer at Nuremberg. Okay. I know how hard it is to kill tons of Jews. I've had the privilege of performing my own extermination campaign without the Fuhrer and his allies breathing down my neck. A privilege Eichmann did not have. Okay.
Well then.
That was a really...
Not entirely sure the joke works, but I see what you try to do there.
Yeah. It's
I give you a
You
half
tried
laugh.
for war crimes.
Oh, jeez. My brain is went.
Before-
Oh no.
Before we move on, Gaw in the Discord just made me aware of a comment on this video from Angry Joe.
Oh.
I put it in the DM chat. If you want to check it out, if you guys want to check it out on your own time, I put it in the DM chat.
No
Oh,
way.
that's a big one, yeah.
If you want to leave it for the end, whatever.
Maybe. I don't know. With Joe, he's a straight up guy. I don't think he has any creativity and intelligence to analyze film or games to a higher degree. That's not a bad thing. That's just the way he is. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way he accepts it. And I like his reviews because he's a layman and we relate to it very easily. And what he says is honest and off the cuff. And I like that. It's when he has complicated ideas, he knows he didn't really get them himself. He got them from all his viewers, which is fine. Also, you could do that too.
It's like he can think whatever he thinks. He's at least straightforward with it.
Right. He's honest. With this guy, I see him as a layman as well who may know a little bit more about the industry, but something's going on. If you're scared to not express yourself, there's something weird about this sort of response, I think.
Yeah, you can tell Chris is like skating around it a little bit.
It says something while saying nothing. That's funny.
I mean,
Yep.
you can bring this opening if you want to imply it's so bad it's not even worth talking about it. Let's talk about the greater problem of why it gets bad. That would make sense.
It would be nice if he was pointing to other things in more detail with actual references to directors or actors saying, oh yeah, we were screwed from the beginning, or going back to The Last Jedi or any other Disney property that we like, yeah, this is an ongoing thing and this is the latest symptom. So it's like, okay, great, let's do that. But I don't think he's going to do that in this video. So
You never know.
no, that would be great. Anyway.
Let's see what exactly he says.
About Madam Web and telling you whether or not you should see Madam Web. There are plenty of people on this platform, as well as a website dedicated to aggregating
Eric, a bit of
reviews
echo on your
and
end.
giving it a number that's going to inform you of that, and you can choose to listen.
I'm sorry, what?
The video is popping in a little bit on your end.
Oh, my bad.
Are you on
Voices
push?
if you want the information there. What I am compelled to make a video about is something that I heard pretty much every writer, some directors, and most actors bashing last year, and that is movie studios. But before we go any further, I do want to give a special thank you to the sponsor for this
That's a
video,
scam.
BetterHelp. The
Your
past few
advertising
years-
is scam.
All right, Smud, skip to 250.
Sure.
This thing goes on for like a minute.
Oh, that's why Eric
Wow.
said that. in the
Mental
Twitch
health?
channel.
Mental
BetterHelp
health.
is a scam.
A couple more skips.
I really don't think a mental
Wait,
health
wait,
Many
app
people,
is...
There you go,
many
there you
people have talked about that, including Louis Rossmann.
All right. Anyway, let's just forget about that.
I mean, is that a movie coming out? I don't understand that.
Yeah, sponsored. This video has been sponsored by
No, BetterHelp is not coming out. No.
It's a scam.
All right.
Better help when worse help shows up.
Maybe he's trying to tell us something. I don't know. Anyway.
Get better help to get away from better help.
So he's certainly not
Sony,
going back
in association with
that.
Marvel, probably not to the level of association that Tom Holland's 3 Spider-Man movies were. This video is inspired by essentially every live-action film that Sony has had some involvement in since Spider-Man 3
Really?
in the Spider-Man verse. That being Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man
3 is when it
1
started
and
going
2,
downhill.
Venom Let There Be Carnage, Morbius, and Madam Web. Since it got pushed back due to the strikes last year, none of us got to see what Sony did with Kraven the Hunter, but we will this year, so I can't really comment on whether or not Sony treated that property with respect. And of course, I know that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man films don't necessarily relate to the Sony Spider-Man universe that they're trying to set up right now, nor do Andrew Garfield's movies, but this is not about that. This is about how Sony treats their characters and their properties, and more importantly, how they treat their filmmakers, and what exactly is going on, because I have so many questions. When you look at the films I mentioned that Sony has made, there's of course division from people about whether or not all of them are bad or good, and some people like more than others. There's plenty of people who like the first Venom movie, but I think there are more people who are a little disappointed by it, and especially the Let There Be Carnage sequel. But plenty of people enjoy Spider-Man 3 well enough.
Jesus, dude, you get to a point, sir. People like this thing and some people don't. It's like, well, yeah. This flavor of ice
I'm
cream
mentally
called,
checked out.
this flavor of ice cream called vanilla. Some people like it, some people don't. It's amazing. Like,
Well,
yeah.
hold on, Smud, because I didn't know that. So this is my first time understanding that some people like things and some people don't like things. This is wow.
All right, let me
Changes
speed
my
let me
perspective.
speed it up at least to 1.2, just to keep myself from going crazy.
Spider-Man 3 that I have fun with, although it's clearly not as good as 1 or 2.
Well, Smud, if you're going crazy, you better get help, from that
Yeah,
app.
yeah, I'm sure.
Advertising.
Let me just download an app and put it to my head every time I listen to Stuckmann.
You can have group therapy sessions,
Right.
With that?
Apparently,
I
that's
thought
what
this
it-
was
I
the
enjoy The Amazing
I thought
Spider-Man
this
1 and
was
2
the
quite a
session.
bit. But I think that if you were to look at a consensus, the consensus is that the live-action, Sony-based Spider-Man universe movies have not exactly all been home runs. I haven't mentioned...
Eric. We're getting super
It's
echo
still
from
coming in.
have push to talk on
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Try. push it up.
Yeah. Let me do that. Sorry, my bad.
All right. So he's referring to the consensus or the average or mean of people who have watched the films did not like them. Is that like, okay, yeah.
They're not that the peak. What I can definitely say from experience watching all these films, the peak was Spider-Man 2.
The Sam Raimi.
I'm sorry,
films.
from of the Sam Raimi films. I'm sorry, that's just fact.
So that's what, almost 20 years?
Nothing. Exactly 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Hence my profile pic.
Huh?
It's that none of the movies. The closest was the first Spider-Verse movie, but even then, nothing has reached the level of quality of Spider-Man 2. Not even the one that came before it.
All right, fair enough.
Mention the
As it
animated
should
Spider-Verse films, both of them being
You should
terrific. The
approve.
way I view the two Spider-Verse movies is kind of the same way I view The Invisible Man and
What?
Split
What?
and
What?
Get Out
What?
and other films that Blumhouse has produced.
Blumhouse.
Because Blumhouse has produced a lot of other movies as well. But those three
Oh, they
really
produced
do
this?
seem like, damn, where'd those come from? Some
What
studios
does that
have
mean?
really good instincts, and they can pick filmmakers
I
and
have
stories
no idea.
across the board.
What
For the
Why
most
is-
part,
does
are
this
gonna be at
does he
least
mean the
decent.
free blood?
I look at a studio like
Guys, come on.
Stop it. Does he mean the Blumhouse movies? Because there were only 2 Spider-Verse things and the second one wasn't that good?
Yeah, but is he referring to them being good or bad? He says, where did those come from? It's like, is that like, ooh, I can't wait to see that because it came out of nowhere? Or, oh my
People
God.
made it.
Like, what does he mean?
If he's,
Especially the second Spider-Verse movie you could expect because the first one was made and was successful. And as all movies nowadays, at least in this category, get a teaser for the next one at the end.
I'd probably be a little embarrassed to say the Invisible Man Blumhouse edition was a good one, even though that thing came out like what, years ago? Like wasn't that a book before it was a movie? Or
Yes.
and he's amazed by the Blumhouse version.
Yeah, the 2021. Yeah.
You gotta be shitting me.
I'm
Oh, I thought
assuming.
he was talking about the 80s.
No,
What?
not the 80s, not the 40s or 30s. Just
Oh,
the
Um,
Blumhouse.
Yeah, he's not.
I'm sorry. I did not connect that. I just assumed Blumhouse was the 80s studio that
No,
made that.
no, Blumhouse
Because I
is-
don't remember these things.
Blumhouse is the cheap studio one where it makes the low budget stuff.
So it's the Sharknado version of the Invisible
It's-
Man.
It's the one where it's not even an invisible man. It's just he's using a suit. Like there's no what's it called? There's no
What?
chemicals involved. It's just a suit,
Then there's no problem.
and it's a crazy ex boyfriend, I think, or ex husband.
Oh, of course.
No.
Oh, it had to be turned into that. So it's not the problem of the exploration of what if I just turned invisible.
Yeah, I was
And now
thinking
what
of,
are my what problems come with that? No, it's just stalker boyfriend.
I was thinking of the
Yeah.
one with Kevin Bacon. That was
Horrible.
called Hollow Man, and then the most recent one was the 2020 version. But that's like a 20-year difference. So
I'd rather just watch the I don't know, like maybe the 30s one or read the book.
Yeah, read the book by H.G. Wells. I think that's the best bet, and then you could go from
Not
there.
that long.
No, it's not. These are great stories back in the 20s and 30s when they had science fiction be this raw, untapped genre that everyone's like, oh, what's the future going to be like, and what happens if this occurs? That would be a good start to get the understanding, because if you watch the Hollow Man film, that's a bit weird. That's definitely not on the same level as the book, and there's a few racy scenes in there. I'm like, this is probably not for kids. So, there's a few other ones. There's what's the one in the 90s? I can't. They have so many of these versions of the film or the story. It doesn't quite fit. It was John Carpenter film. I can't remember what it was called, but it had Chevy Chase. So, yeah, it was a bit weird. Isn't there a TV show about the Invisible Man? I'm quite sure there was.
See if can look that up.
Yeah. Something in the 70s. I can't remember. My memory of these science fiction weird stuff is not very good. But when he said, where'd that come from? I was like, is that like, oh, wow. Or, oh, my God, that's horrible. Like, I want to know what that excitement means. Is it good or bad?
I think that's supposed to be a good. Wow, where did that come from? It's like, are you joking me? You serious? Why? Why? How to? That's the one you're gonna think's the best version, not anything from the predecessors or.
No, I think it's both of those things because he wants to say that they're trying new things. Oh, it's experimental. Ooh, look at it's unusual, so it's good, right?
I don't know. All right.
I don't know. I don't know.
A24. Pretty much most of their movies, if you see a trailer for an A24 film, you can probably bet that it's not going to be terrible. That it's at least going to be decent and maybe even really good.
Would you agree with that?
No.
I mean, you get it's kind of a mixed bag.
He's just saying because they produce a trailer and they're known for quality, therefore they're going to be good.
I mean, The Lighthouse was good. I wouldn't say the other stuff.
How often have we seen misleading trailers in the past years?
Yeah, you remember that A24 movie where Tom Hardy is just in the car for 2 hours? It was a great movie. I'm not joking, by the way. He's just in the car for the whole movie.
I just want to rewatch Dark City now for some reason.
Oh no, there was an Invisible Man TV series. It was in 2000.
Mike, I'm just looking at the comments. Goss says, the 1932 Invisible Man is still peak. Fight me, Mike.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm not fighting you. I'm saying I like that.
Well, isn't Blumhouse not a budget production, but they do like slasher flicks and horror flicks?
They do what's called budget horror flicks, where you get some few good ones, but mostly just shit shows, to be honest.
Right. So not necessarily bad productions, but it's like you have to bring your expectations down a bit and go, okay, I know what I'm getting into.
Or unless it's the Halloween trilogy, where they decided, oh hey, let's make a sequel to the original, so we could forget that for a cinematic universe.
So
couple of years later.
So if you're going to go see like a Halloween type movie around that time, it's like, all right, that's a fair assessment. You're not expecting some war story with drama and romance. You're expecting a slasher flick to scare kids. It's like, all right. But that's what Chris is saying. He's like, these are good. Like, okay.
Yeah, and in the chat, Rotom, we should make a Darkstalkers movie, not for at least 20 years.
Oh God,
just gonna be horrible.
Capcom's already back in the shitter with one of the worst DRMs ever introduced to gaming. So
Capcom is ideologically captured. That is the big problem.
Well, not all of it. The Devil May Cry team is still based.
Yeah, but they're in it. Well,
Dragon's Dogma is coming out.
The way Capcom works is that each individual team is in charge of their own shit, which is how the DMC team can get away with that.
Okay, I have a question on that. You know more than that than I. I don't keep track of this. How much overlap is there between the DMC team and the Bayonetta team?
At this point, nothing.
Well, that explains that then. So good luck, DMC people.
Well, okay. There's
I'm happy for you.
There's lots of
happy for you while I'm on.
If I can say, long story short, when the actor got fired, Ruben Langdon, the DMC team looked into the hit piece that was made on him. They saw it was a bunch of bullshit and kept him.
If only No More Heroes 3 did that. Yeah. Only that one did that for Quentin.
I know, right?
Well, there's very few games I'm actually interested in this year, and Dragon's Dogma 2 is perhaps in my top 5, just because of all the... I don't know if you guys have seen trailers or videos or any interviews. It is like, wow, they did a lot of effort into that. So whether that has anything to do with previous Capcom games, I have no idea, but it looks fantastic. Anyway.
I will get to that, but I have to play Dragon's Dogma 1 first. That's on the list.
It's really good.
But I can only get to that after I have gotten all the achievements in Path of Exile, because otherwise that game isn't finished.
Oh boy.
Two things. One, if you have any experience in Breath of Fire, Dragon's Dogma borrows a lot from that because it's the same team.
I wish I had released that in Germany.
That is very different game.
Yeah. but it's the same people, except the director, which is Itsuno from the DMC team.
Oh.
But I was gonna say, Tyler Preston say, what was the hit piece? It was a hit piece that was done by Newsweek against Ruben Langdon after the whole thing of whatever takes it was that he gave on Twitter. Forgot what it was exactly. The Street Fighter people fired him, but the DMC people did not. Because they actually looked into it. That's all, it was bullshit.
All right. Anyway.
Why are we talking about this? Spider-Man's coming out.
We just sidetracked because we like Capcom so much and we love and hate it. So anyway.
We want it to be good again.
Make Capcom great again.
Yeah, make Capcom great again.
Make Capcom great again.
Make Capcom great again so that they can make Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Make those shirts.
Those
will sell like hotcakes.
Just to bring the two subjects together. Marvel vs. Capcom. There you go.
Many other wonderful things, Capcom.
Yeah. Well, there's other games I'm interested in, but that's one in the top 5. Anyway, we can talk about gaming later. I'll probably make a blog post on the community tab about that, just because it's one of those things. I wasn't expecting to have that many games this year I was interested in, but that's one of them. So, anyway.
Back to Marvel.
Nature is healing.
Studio, it's like a flip of a coin. You could get one of their best efforts, or you could get another one. And I do think it comes down to the filmmaker they're working with and whether or not they back off and give that filmmaker the freedom they need to tell a cohesive, coherent story. That doesn't mean that every writer...
Yeah, that worked well with the prequels.
Eric, do
and
you
the,
know
and the sequels?
George is the studio.
Eric, do you know where to go to turn on push to talk? We're still getting the echo.
Are we? What the fuck?
Yes.
Or you get headphones. Do you have headphones?
He is using headphones.
He's not using headphones, or he wouldn't get echo.
Go into settings, voice and video, and it's one of the first things you say.
If it can't work, try muting yourself and then unmuting when you want to talk. It's that simple.
The old school method.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
That's weird. Okay.
Two of the writers of Madam Web worked on another film in the
Oh
Sony
my
universe
God.
that has been heavily criticized, called Morbius.
I liked it.
Did you really?
It's the greatest movie of all time.
No, I know.
Okay, I will give you my honest opinion. I didn't hate it.
How could you hate the Milo dancing? I mean, come on.
That's
have
like
sex.
saying. That's like saying.
I hate what's his name? The British guy who played Doctor Who.
The British
one
guy.
do
who played Doctor Who.
You realize how little that narrows it down.
I know that doesn't.
The white. You're talking about the white guy, right?
The white
The enemy. Yeah, the bad guy.
Caucasian Mill.
This is great. I love this.
Since you
The
made
badly
point
dressed Brit. Okay, that doesn't narrow it down either. The villain.
Oh wait, no, David Tennant was the villain that was on the.
Yeah, not
the Master?
David Tennant, the other one that I always knew the name of.
Oh, Matt Smith.
Yes,
yeah.
Matt Smith. I had it was on the tip of my tongue.
I thought you meant the Master. So like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no. He wasn't in the movie, but yeah.
Well, true, but
I found Matt Smith annoying. That was cringe.
I think a lot of people agree with that.
And there were some other issues as well. But the way I saw the movie was, you're 20 years too late. You should have come out around the time of Iron Man. If this movie had been in the starting phase of the MCU, it would have been somewhat accepted. That's what it looked like.
Or at the very least, if Raimi had made it.
Yeah, well, movie has tons of issues, but it came across to me as a serious enough attempt, and maybe that is because it's in contrast to bullshit like Captain Marvel.
Since it came up, just for reference, Morbius is 15% by critics, 71% by audience on Rotten Tomatoes. So,
well, enough people liked it for some magical reason.
Oh.
I'm sorry, what did you say? 15 plus
15
plus 100%?
No, 15 from the critics, 71 from the audience.
Yeah,
well,
71 is not
critics,
horrible.
The critics didn't understand it. I mean, it is a complex movie.
You can ignore the critics.
The critics are seeing the light.
No, I think the critics just didn't like it because there was not enough woke crap in it. Because the critics seem to only judge these movies by the metric of how much propaganda is in it. If the critic scores high, that means about that much propaganda is in it. If the critic scores low, that means there's that little propaganda in it. Now, that probably doesn't work anymore for the scores on Madame Web, because I would assume that they put bullshit in there.
Because Madame Web,
But the
everyone
thing
agrees.
is, yeah, and there's a thing about that, and I haven't things I wanted to make for a year. About a year ago at this point, I think it was in May. In one of the large left-wing magazines or newspaper, it wasn't a newspaper, the German Times, Die Zeit, was an article, pretty big one, like page 3 or 5, that had the big headline and made the argument for should we take a break from the culture war? So the biggest left-wing newspaper in Germany had an article that signaled, let's take a break from the crazy before we lose power completely, because we've pushed so far. This whole thing is coming to a pause right now. It's not happening everything at once, but a lot of things happened very quickly last year, where it wasn't just that ESG money ran out, but you saw it in practice, where a lot of this propaganda stuff was not being pushed as much anymore in all sorts of places. Of course, you still have the policies happening, but it's as if it's getting quieter. And it's not getting quieter because the radical left has come to its senses. It's because they do this repeatedly. They push their insane politics for 5 to 10 years at a time, then they take a break and let all of that which they have pushed to normalize, to sink in. And then, give it 5 to 10 to 15 years later, they start the next big push, because the generation that they have infested with this crap, they grow up with this brainwashed mindset. That's their next generation of activists. And because if they would push too much, if they would have continued, they would have gotten the big backlash, because people were fed up with it. So, from what I know how this works, and from what I know how they talk, about a year ago, there was a global signal that said, let's stop pushing the crazy so that we can survive and that we can keep pushing later again. And that's maybe why the critics also get sane again and start criticizing movies for their quality and not just for their content of propaganda, or try to shill for bad movies because it's a brave step for the women's because of power and glass ceilings breaking and all this other nonsense. It's breaking new grounds. We still get that occasionally, but we don't get it each single time anymore.
Okay. We're at almost 6 minutes.
But what I've learned and what I've experienced myself, not on my film, but on scripts that I've optioned to some studios, and it went nowhere, is that when...
So they wrote you an email saying no thanks. That's what you learned.
Wow, you write a letter to the big companies and they don't listen. What a shocker.
Or they don't reply at all. What would anyone learn from that? They don't care. Okay, great. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, what would even happen if he did get his foot in the door there? You know, what's plan 2? What's step 2? 3, 4, the other. Yeah, you get them to talk to you, and
yeah, there's hundreds of writers submitting scripts to whomever. That's normal. What have you learned? If they don't get back to you with feedback, then they don't care.
People have power over you as a creative. When they're paying your bills and they're paying you well, they can tell you to do anything, and you have to do it, no matter what.
I mean,
it's like that scene in Vampire's Kiss where Nicolas Cage is threatening to fire his secretary, and he says,
"You're the lowest on the totem pole here, Alva. The lowest. Do you realize that? That's right, Alva. It's a horrible, horrible job. I could think of a more horrible job if I wanted to. And you have to do it. You have to, or I'll fire you. Do you understand?
Sometimes
That's why we had all this propaganda all exists. You have correctly identified the problem, Chris. That's the issue. That's why for the past 10 years everything was shit. And there's a lot more shit coming still.
I was gonna say
It's not over.
that's exactly what it is when you're a creative dealing with a larger entity that has control over your creation, or at least your script or your story or your characters. When they can tell you what to do and you got to do it, it doesn't matter if you think it's insane. You have to find a way to make it work. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened on Madam Web and Morbius and all these movies, but I would not be surprised. Because when I look at Sony's involvement with the Spider-Verse films, I see Lord and Miller that have had massive success on the big screen in the...
Is he waking up? Is he leaving the Matrix?
Let's hope so.
No. He's stuck. He's stuck in
to have
the
made
night. Of course, he's not leaving.
He's Matrix Stuckman?
I mean, he's
Stuck Matrix?
I mean, he's on the right track so far.
Yeah.
past the
Plot
lot of money
twist.
for a lot of people and have proven themselves to be very smart at what they do. And I can totally see a company like Sony saying, why don't you guys give us your best shot and then we'll give you some notes. Now, for a filmmaker like S.J. Clarkson, who made Madam Web, she's had a long and respectable career directing television, but she's directing her first movie and it's a Sony superhero movie. When I saw Madam Web earlier today, there wasn't a single part of me that thought, wow, this is just a terrible filmmaker. I could not help but see the myriad of evidence that has been laid at all of our feet that this is a studio that is simply retaining the rights to their characters, that does not care about the quality of this experience.
No. Then it would not advertise these movies.
This is
Wait,
strange.
actually,
He's
wait,
blaming
what's
the
the-
studio.
Who's the writer's name again?
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
Social Justice Clarkson.
Yeah, but this is like I'm going to blame the entire company for the entire production. Maybe unless you're being
It
specific.
can't be the fault of the woman.
Well, if there was like a video game that, you know, the music sucked, the audio sucked, the visuals sucked, the animation sucked, I would say, okay, this is the entire company, all the production team, whatever they made on any level was like a 0 out of 10. You could say that in general. But when we say an RPG is bad, you could talk about specifics, but it's usually the story or the gameplay. Those are the big two. So you say, oh, the writers had no idea what they were doing. The writers were screwed. They were just pooping around. They were just making shit. And the game developers are like, well, this is what the design told us to do, and we just developed it. Unless we find out it was a developer who came up with the design. So you have to be very careful here. I don't like blaming, let's say, BioWare for everything, but there's plenty of blame to go around in each department for many reasons. So we say that in general, and I could be detailed if you guys want me to. But in this case, it's like the studio. It's like, no. There's people in costume. There's people in stunts. There's awesome people have to be there. Even with the Eternals film, awesome people were involved.
Mm-hmm.
All the actors, the director, everyone was awesome except the writers. It was a shit script, and this is what it comes down to. It's usually a shit script. So
Which is why nobody cared about the writer's strike, because
yeah,
these people don't deserve to be paid.
You're just gonna get. It's like, oh hey, they get paid more. Get ready for more shit that doesn't change because you just gave in, you know.
It would be brilliant if all of this was about other things except the writers. If the writers were like carte blanche to do, okay, we're going to trust you with your creativity. You're a very good writer. You do what you want, and the producer and the director will follow you, and we'll just champion your views, and we'll try to make them come to life. If that was the case, every film would be unique and special and different. And it didn't matter which studio it made them because it's all about the writer. But they're not doing that. So
The problem at the end of the day is that this is an ongoing issue, and I just don't understand what in Chris's mind this separates it. That he can't review the thing. He has to talk about the actual problems of
this is like saying
the studios or whatever.
yeah,
you know?
it's like saying Star Wars: The Last Jedi was bad because of the studio. And you're like, no, the studio is really good people, amazing effects,
Got a lot of money.
amazing wardrobe, makeup, music, everything was top notch, except the writing.
She only wrote for Madam Web and Mistresses, the TV series, and then Mistresses, the TV series.
That's it? Oh.
That's it. All she's done is mostly directed.
This is her director debut, right?
This is who you want to direct for a Marvel film.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't throw in amateurs to your big budget things. This movie had a budget of $80 million. That is compared to the first Star Wars movie from 1979, if we correct for inflation, about 2.5 times what the budget for the first Star Wars movie was.
Wasn't that in 77?
77?
Yeah,
I
77.
thought it was 79.
No, it's 77. Wisp, you and me. We were watching
Doesn't
what's it called? That one awful show that referenced it. That also took place during that.
difference of 32 million to 35 million. If you that is what the original Star Wars movie would cost today. if it was made with today's inflation level.
Fuck.
And this movie cost 80 million. Something's wrong. Something's very, very wrong in the state of Hollywood. If you don't pay for your writers, you pay for everything else. It always falls flat.
All right, we're almost halfway done.
This is the simplest thing.
We had an advertisement, so maybe that wasn't exactly halfway, but it was about a minute long for an ad. So maybe there might be another one. Who knows?
There's been too many examples of movies that all feel kind of the same, like a mishmashed early 2000s superhero movie. They can't seem to get out of that. No matter how many times we've said to this studio, we would prefer it if you went a different way, even with the excellent examples of their 2 Spider-Verse films. And I can't help but think, who is this for? Who wins here? Is it the audience?
He is coming out of the Matrix. It's amazing. He only needs to realize that anytime we criticized Hollywood before for doing something wrong, we were called istophobes of everything.
This is great. Who is this for? That is like one of the classic criticisms of this thing is so bad. I don't know who could possibly enjoy this.
Yeah, I thought he wasn't going to criticize it though.
Yeah, but this is the scathing review.
What is?
I understand that he doesn't want to talk about the movie in detail because it's so bad it's not worth talking about it. So let's talk about the bigger problem, and that's what he's doing in the realm of his capacity. So gummy points to him.
It's like saying what you did was so bad. I'm not going to tell you did wrong, but I want to ask you, why did you do that, and who is it for? Like, why did you murder that person? I'm not going to say why you murdered someone, but why did you do it?
Spud, who is it for? Yes.
The wider audience. The modern audience. The Western sensibilities.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, Japan, if anyone from Japan is listening, this is how Western sensibilities are received in the West. We don't like them. They're not very Western. This is something else.
It seems like it isn't, guys. Is it the creatives? Definitely not. Is it the studio? Are they making a lot of money because they keep doing this over and over again? Sometimes it makes sense to make a Venom movie. It makes sense to make a Spider-Man movie. Those are characters that are going to generate money no matter what. Morbius and Madam Web, Kraven the Hunter, remains to be seen. That is not the same level of reward that a studio might receive from producing a Spider-Man or a Venom movie. So why are they making them? Is it to retain the rights? Is it to get some kind of financial break? Potentially. And in that case...
You could look that up.
That's what they've done.
The rights were running out? Is that the case?
That's what they did with Spider-Man in the first place. That's the entire reason why it's rebooted twice. And that's also what happened with Fantastic Four.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
but look, the old 90s Fantastic Four movie that they didn't promote in any way was actually decent for its time.
That didn't even come
At least
out.
they saved the city without having to destroy it.
At least, I will give credit to at least the first 2000 movie. That one stuck to the core of the IP. Except
wasn't that Fox Studio though?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they still got pretty much everything right.
It's like when they only make it to retain the rights, they don't care what is actually in the movie. So the movie has the potential to turn out good. But when they want to have it big and promote it, they put all this executive board garbage into it and the propaganda garbage, and then they ruin it that way. Make the movies just without that. Let the people who know what they're doing do the things. Don't hire idiots. Don't hire the inappropriate people. We've had people who said in interviews, "Oh, I never read the comic about various things. I never read the comics. I was told that's a good thing."
That's the problem.
Yeah, and those people might be good for writing other things, but not something that already has lore.
There's only one exception to that has ever happened. One of the Russo brothers was not a fan of Captain America, and yet he's one of the guys that directed Winter Soldier, one of the best movies in the MCU.
Well, you can, if you have integrity, you can still make something good even if you don't like it.
Exactly.
Because that's what a responsible person does.
All right. Here is Vladimir Dragunov. Thank you, sir, for the 10. How's it going? Greetings from the SES, Soldier of Freedom. I'm currently on my allotted break from spreading freedom and democracy for Super Earth. What are we watching today? I think that's a reference to Helldivers 2. I could be wrong. But we are just enjoying a review of not Madam Web. But
discussion.
But of the studio surrounding it, I don't know. It's something weird like that.
Also, goddamn, Helldivers 2 really took off, didn't it?
Oh yeah, exploded on Steam.
Everywhere.
Is it really that good?
I don't know.
I
haven't played it. Don't know.
Well, I'm just looking for games to play. So if that's really good, I might look into it.
Apparently, it's so good they had to put a cap on the people waiting to go in line, and the people. Yeah, it's like a 450,000 server cap, and the people that went to bed kept they remained logged in, so that when they wake up, that they could still get within the queue and not have to wait.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's how good it is for some people. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
maybe some of them don't sleep.
Also, Rotom in the chat clarifying that Ed Brubaker was on set to help out with the accuracy of all the stuff during Winter Soldier. That helped too.
Ah.
Funny how they couldn't hammer that out before they actually go to production, but I guess people forget.
For which one?
For any movie production where they write stuff down and they can say, oh, we got to keep this the same. The color has to be like that. They have to punch like this. Like all the basic that you would see an expert of the comic or historian of the lore would be like, no. This is what should happen. This is what Thor should say. And it's kind of funny if you watch the Thor films or any of the films with Thor, he goes from comic to Shakespearean to back to comic relief to clown. Yeah, it just everything jumps all over the place. I'm like, I don't think that was the in the comics that I remember reading about Thor.
That's part of, to bring up Winter Soldier again, that's part of why that movie is so good, because it did both. It was accurate to the source material, and it did something new that was also really good.
All right. Okay.
I was so hoping for stoic humor for.
I liked the second film just because it was so contrasting. It was just so like over the top, serious. Anyway.
Which one? Winter Soldier?
No, I was talking about Thor. So
Oh, Dark World.
Yeah. Not too many people like that.
I will. My second controversial opinion. I liked it.
Okay, fine.
That I actually did. That I did actually like.
All right.
Simply for the reason.
No, sorry. Go ahead. Finish your point. Sorry. No.
Simply for the reason, it was the first MCU movie that went off Earth, and not just for like 5 minutes, but for the majority of the movie.
But yeah, let's be grateful it was with Thor and not anyone else.
Okay.
And my take is that the first Thor movie is the best one of all of them.
It was the most fun.
Oh yeah.
It was the most accurate.
Simple, to the point. Good characters.
Yeah.
From the development.
I like Ragnarok.
I do too.
That's fine. But
I
I'm
hate
just like,
it.
whatever. Right, okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. It's divisive, we get it. But I was gonna say, the first Thor movie was the most accurate to the comics. That's why I like it so much.
Yeah.
Alrighty, here's some super chats and some donations here from Zeke Kyle. Hey Zeke, how's it going?
Yeah.
Chris is so
Oh my
boring.
god, that's funny.
I can't fathom anybody liking him unironically. The guy has no personality. He accused people like Critical Drinker of hating women too. Whoa, that's some drama. Just shows how bitter he is about someone doing what he does better. It's so funny in a sad way. When did he criticize? I mean, we've covered critical drinker criticisms for a while now. What did he say about critical drinker?
Well, to bring this up about Chris again, it's like close to a decade ago. He was making really good videos left and right, and then after a certain point, it went way downhill with him. I'm just like,
Yeah,
but
when did he make a video about critical drinker? I didn't even know
that I don't know.
But I could believe it, at least from what we've seen here in these few minutes, because he's effectively simping for the writer-director of this movie.
Oh, I thought maybe he was married or something.
No, he's simping for that woman. He's excusing her failure as, it was the studio, which basically means the system, which basically means society. It's society's fault that she failed. Yeah,
No.
It's society's fault that she failed, that the movie was bad. It's not her fault.
Yeah,
because she's a woman.
Yeah,
we need to be nice.
All right.
But what is a woman?
All right. Let's keep going.
I was gonna say no. To that I say no, Chris. Spider-Man 3 was studio failure because they tried to inject shit that wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. This is all around.
Okay. Here's another comment from Vladimir, our member. Thank you, sir. Helldivers is so good that the latest patch notes include increased server capacity. If only Sony allows an Xbox port, we need reinforcements. They said.
Oh yeah, it's a PlayStation exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're talking 450,000 people per server. I mean, how many more players do you need?
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, Vladimir, you say that, but Sony has been announcing recently that they are gonna slowly chip away at their exclusivity with the PlayStation stuff.
Ooh,
so
people will get
maybe
angry. People will get angry.
Maybe that a certain amount of people, while everyone else is like, yay, more games.
Oh, so the PS5 still has no games. Great.
Oh.
Well, it has games right now, but let's see how long that is.
For
What's
now.
the console actually for?
Somebody in the comments said, Rodum said, Chris didn't say any of that. He just said some stuff that other people interpreted as anti-drinker.
Oh, that's normal. This sounds like this guy does not have an opinion of his own.
So Echo Chamber, yeah.
Well, you don't get 2 million viewers easily by having an opinion.
He's the who's that guy who went to voice actor? He used to be a news dude on YouTube.
Young, yeah.
Yeah, he's like the milk toast. All he does is just report the most common opinion on anything reported on the news, and everyone's like, "Yep, that's what happened."
I'm young out. Whatever he says.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the guy who every time he gets a voice role, it's like, I'm the character now. Look at me, it's me, Kiryu.
And then the game doesn't sell.
No. This was like was it the Yakuza games that he was in?
Yeah,
it was the newest one.
He's Kazuma Kiryu.
Yeah.
No, the other guy is.
So I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know the names, but the parts he was in, he was singing, and it was like, "Ooh, that does not sound. That does not sound."
There was a time when you did dubs that you would get your voice actor, and if you had singing parts, you would get a singer who can actually sing and do those parts.
Sometimes the voice actors were talented enough to actually sing. So I remember that from Sailor Moon. Anyway. Let's continue.
I don't care that much about each and every one of us who forks over our hard-earned money to sit in a theater on Valentine's Day when they could have been doing anything else. I care so much about the...
Eric?
Sorry, I thought that was funny that it was released on Valentine's Day. Like, was there a reason for that?
Is he married, or does he have a girlfriend that he's going to shows?
Because they made it like a chick flick.
What?
As far as I know, he's married. He has a kid.
Okay,
right?
so maybe he went out with his wife. Okay, fair enough. That's good enough.
What a shitty Valentine's Day.
Why don't?
Yeah, but it's the attempt of or maybe on Valentine's Day, young couples go to the movies and then see, this movie released. Let's watch it and
go to a restaurant. Go to restaurants.
Watch
Stay at home.
Godzilla.
Well, that was the idea with the movie, and it backfired spectacularly.
All right.
Watch an old movie. Don't watch a new movie.
Well, no, the
Yeah.
Godzilla movie is pretty good.
Sex, goddammit.
Oh,
Sorry, did I say that out loud?
All right. Anyway, Vladimir, one more time. $2. Thank you, sir. It was day and date on PC. What? I'm sorry. What did you say?
You mean it's on PC? Helldivers 2?
Yeah, it's on PC.
That's what he means then. Oh, okay, good.
All right.
Well, at least this kid will have a good video game library at home.
All right.
What
Let's
is
get.
That
PC?
it's probably not allowed to touch because it's daddy's toys.
Okay.
And you only get your greasy, sugar-coated fingers on them, and it's all sticky, and I have to clean it up.
Okay. Anyway, let's continue.
Who forks over our hard-earned money to sit in a theater doing anything else. I care so much about the filmmaker experience, and I am so aware of how crushingly difficult it can be.
Wait. Why do you care about the filmmaker experience? Are you talking from a person who makes films, or do you care about the audience?
He wants to get into Hollywood. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, but that's like saying I care so much about how the sausage is made. It's like, you know what? In an intellectual capacity, yeah, I'm curious how, like, you watch those shows, how things are made. That's interesting. It's like, wow.
how it was made.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I'm a film goer. I'm a game player. I care about the final product. I don't care how it's made. I don't care if you have to like crack a whip. I mean, that's probably not very nice, but it's none of my business. I don't know what your business practice is. I wish you didn't do that. But the bottom line is it a good film? And does the audience like it?
I mean, for it to become a good product, you should care about both. If you are in the making process, you should care about making a good product, because it doesn't matter what you know about the process.
Right.
If you don't care to make something good, because then you won't aim for that.
Everyone in, let's say, video games knows it is a highly back-breaking, creative, draining experience to do anything in gaming, because it's so hard to like put a feature in, to bug test, to make sure it's what you want that the designer came up with, and it's not some feature-creeped feature on top of a feature. It's just the thing that they wanted on the original design doc. And to do that is hard. So I get that, but that's no excuse. Like, I really care about the game making process. It's like, yes, from an intellectual, objective, far away perspective, but no, I care about the product. If you put all this effort into a game and the story sucks, well, I'm not going to like the gameplay as much, and vice versa. So it's just, why would you? I don't go watch the Room and go, I care about the movie making experience with Wasso and all the guys. It's like, no, not really.
I think he is talking about out of it from personal experience, because there was some time ago he was going to direct a horror movie.
Shelby, did you know Shelby Oaks?
Yeah, Shelby Oaks. I remember now.
What? Hold on, Shelby Oaks. What is that?
Yeah, it was going to be some like indie horror movie that Chris was going to direct like a couple years back.
It's called Shelby Oaks. Are
Yeah,
you sure about this?
I remember now.
Shelby Oaks.
Yeah,
That's-
I remember he put out a video about it. I think it was I'm directing a film or something.
Oh, it's not a video, Ginga. It was at the end of every video was, thanks and, donate to me.
No, I know that, but I think I remember him putting out a video specifically for announcing that project.
About Shelby Oaks?
That he was going to direct Shelby Oaks.
That he talks about?
It's probably in the memes right now. Let me check. Yep, by Cyber. Yeah, there it is. You guys are going to see it.
Shelby Oaks. Wow.
I knew someone was going to find that.
Okay.
It's called Shelby Oaks.
Yes. So how many times are you going to ask? Yes, it was.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Jeez, memories.
To make a but I also care a lot about the audience, and I want people like myself who go to these movies to have a good time and to feel like they invested some of their money into something that gave something back to them, that inspired them in some way or made them just happy for a couple hours. And Sony and their treatment of these characters seems to be doing the exact opposite. Currently in the industry, it's the Wild West when it comes to spec scripts, especially.
What? The Wild West? If it was the Wild West, we would get get an equal amount of good stuff out of Hollywood as we would get bad stuff.
We'd get,
What does that mean?
If anything, it's more accurate to say the Dark Ages.
we would get all kinds of
This
crazy
Wild West
stuff.
needs a couple. Sorry. This Wild West needs a couple sheriffs.
Yeah, I think if it was the
More
Wild
than a
West,
couple,
we would
yeah.
get no rules. We'd get crazy films, different genres crossing, and stupid storylines and different production budgets. It would be crazy, but it's not.
That
It's-
was what in the early 2000s, late 90s, almost.
A good chunk of the 90s and the 2000s, yeah.
It's
It
like,
would
that's
be the
what-
manga industry.
I mean, hell, to the point where nostalgic Doug Walker had made a video specifically about that some years back.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think Disney.
Like the Dark Age movies.
I don't think Disney or the Marvel company is the Wild West. I think they're very structured. They
No,
have-
we're in the Great Depression right now.
oh.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
When the Hollywood is in its decline of Rome phase. It's decadent and corrupt. It is authoritarian to the boot. It is lying with every word. It is deluded about itself and what's going on in the world. It's falling apart.
Interesting.
When an empire falls, that doesn't happen overnight.
You know,
It's a very, very large organism.
it's
That can
possible.
take years.
It's possible he's referring to the script submission process where it's just people are just randomly sending stuff, and the producers are like, "What do we do? I don't know. Who do we give this to? How do we evaluate this?" And I'm sure the producers have their own golden criteria for what a good script is, as opposed to, "I'll just take anything that looks good." Like, that's not how anyone operates, even in a Wild West environment.
No, I'm pretty sure at this point in the video he's talking about the films that are actually coming out.
Yeah, exactly. So even if Marvel or Disney execs get scripts, they're like, nope. As it always has been for many studios.
Yeah, the
Well,
only
now it's
things
worse because
that
of the
came-
agenda.
Yeah, the only things that came out that were decent were things like Joker, Top Gun Maverick, when what's his name made the Orville, things like
Zach
that.
McFarlane?
Seth MacFarlane, yeah.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane. All these exceptional things, but these were, to use Tom Cruise's movie title, these were all mavericks. They did their thing despite Hollywood, despite the agenda, or in spite of it.
Well, it's kind of interesting. We talk about Top Gun, and they actually use, I don't know if it was in the credits. I'm sure they put them in the credits, the actual Navy, because they wanted to depict a real life showcase of the Air Force and the Navy. So it's like, well, what do? Well, we contact the actual people with the boats and the planes, and they say, hey, can we make a movie with you guys? And they're like, yeah, of course. We want to promote ourselves. We want more people joining the military for whatever reason. It's like,
Well, that came up back in the Godzilla Smudcast where you have to do it that way.
right. Top Gun, I'm sure the most recent one did not need to do that because of all the people backing it, but why would you spend hundreds of millions of bucks on all kinds of CGI, not even doing it very well, when you can actually use the real thing and just have them be along for the ride, get a grant because you're promoting American values, however that works. I don't know the actual grant name. I'm sure there is a bunch. And just go with the flow of, yeah, everyone likes this idea. Of course we want to be part of your film. This is a great idea. Anyway.
Yeah, and Chad brought some other examples that made impacts that I want to rewatch Puss in Boots. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
That was a great film.
The Last Wish?
Yeah, that's basically that's the animation version of In Spite of What's Going On. Absolute perfection. It's one of those movies I would call perfect.
It's a shame what
was the other one that you've mentioned before? Two Strings? I forgot the name.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
The Two Strings. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's a bit older, but it's that movie is also perfection.
But isn't it a shame what came after Puss in Boots? What was that movie called that DreamWorks did?
Ruby Gilman.
I thought you were going to say the Mario movie. I was going to shut you up right now.
Okay.
Is that also?
It was no. I was gonna say it,
Studio
but no. I realized that that's elimination. My bad.
Oh, okay.
My brain got crossword there for a second.
Okay.
Oops.
Okay. Let's keep on going.
A lot of spec scripts are not even being read. very rarely in fact, unless you're a very specific kind of movie or a studio is looking for something so particular that you just so happen to be that perfect thing. From what I understand, lower budget horror is still being looked at, especially haunted house things or things that are very marketable. But in general, the industry has no idea what it's doing right now post strikes. They have no clue. Movies
They
are
didn't
selling
have any
for
clue
almost
before.
$20 million at festivals from first-time filmmakers, and other movies that seem like they should be selling really big because of the names that are attached aren't. Nobody knows exactly what's happening right now because everyone is so beholden to this algorithm or whatever Netflix is telling
Because
them
they suck.
people want to see. This is creating an almost robotic-like dystopian
Netflix is
conveyor
not
belt of
making what
movies
people
that we
wanna
are
see
essentially
either.
supposed to kneel at the very end of, open our mouth really wide and just consume, and then ask, when do we get the next
Dude, are you like in a time warp? This is like 15 years ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Also-
Netflix is just making random shit. They have no bloody plan.
It's like
You guys
why,
can see Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon.
yeah, it's like the thing with why the big names aren't selling. Well, simply put, they suck.
I haven't seen it,
Dude.
but apparently it's crazy.
Movie lovers, movie enthusiasts, people who have an actual appreciation for the art. They don't go to big Hollywood things. They go to the movie festivals, the little ones. They watch that stuff because there's also weird crap there. But that's where you get to see good movies, well written, good ideas, some new cinematic techniques. That's where it's at. It's not the big studios. Never was. Well, I can't say never was because Star Wars. But to bring this as like this special exceptional thing, like don't seem to know how this whole media thing genre works.
I was going to mention about Netflix, how it treats like actual shows that people like, and then they just cancel them. I think someone in the chat just mentioned that. There's a whole bunch of that, even from last year, that happened, and it's weird. It's like these shows are doing well. They're in their second season, or they're about to get a third season, and Netflix just cancels them. And it's the strangest thing, and I don't know why. Because usually, when you have it in an individual level, not on a subscription method, that's where Netflix makes its money. It would be like, oh, this time slot with this production is making money, advertising revenue. Let's give it more money so we can get more advertising revenue. Now it's like, well, what their methodology is for keeping shows on and bringing new ones in, I don't know. But it's all subscription based, so you're going to be watching those shows or not. Netflix doesn't care because you're still paying the $30 a month anyway. So there's no direct cause of, oh, this show's good, keep making more of it, as opposed to, I don't know, a criteria like, oh, we have too much romance, let's have some more sci-fi. We have too much sci-fi, let's have some more action. I don't know what Netflix methodology is. So it's a weird environment. I don't have Netflix anymore, but I imagine people are pissed off, and a lot of shows over the years that have been killed. Okay. We are at 10 minutes and 45 seconds. Not bad.
We're making good time.
Yeah. No, it's getting...
At least.
It's getting like, yeah, this guy is like sounding reasonable, but like from someone 10 years ago that would be like, yeah, we knew this was happening.
It's like one eye open, the other's still in the matrix.
that you have generated for us from your algorithm robotic AI thing, whatever that is. Because when I watched Madam Web, there wasn't a single part of me that thought a writer sat down and came up with the idea of the final fight happening underneath a giant neon Pepsi Cola sign. I just don't think a writer sat in their apartment in LA and thought, that's a good idea.
Are we sure they didn't
Yes,
rip off
yes,
the Highlander ending?
Yes,
I'm
they
sorry.
did, because that's the level we're at right now.
I've seen that in comics and manga, and I swear a manga I read 2 days ago even uses the actual name Starbucks. So, you know, obviously the laws in Japan for using trademark names is a little lax.
The branding is the least
They
of the
gotta
issues.
get that product placement somehow.
Yeah, some no-name...
The product placement is the least of it with that fucking saying.
Yeah, the mangaka going, we got to put McDonald's in here. It's like, well, no, we can't when we go to publication. We'll change it to McNaughton's or McNichols or something like that. But that's normal. We see that.
Oh yeah,
all the time.
like McDowell's and Coming to America.
McNolds.
Whatever it was called.
Sony said, we have to incorporate Pepsi in some way and deal with it. And that's what it's like for a lot of these creatives. I just heard a story today about some...
A product placement is usually more simple. It's just that these hack writers are just winging it.
Compare that
They
to...
did in...
I was going to say, compared to Ghostbusters 2016, where it was just ridiculous. The amount of Sony...
That's still the worst of the worst, though. That's an easy target.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like She-Hulk, that was just winging it all the time. In the end, they didn't even know what to do, so they just wrote, she's leaving reality now and talking to the producer who's a robot.
And then
Kevin Feige's hat on.
And then Scar for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
Look what they did to my boy.
Someone who's working with a massive entity studio, I won't say what it is, who has hired that person to write a story based off of a very interesting hook. He wrote the whole script, came back to them, and they said, you know what, we don't really like that hook anymore, but we still like your story. Can you make it work without the hook? And this poor writer is trying to figure out how in the world they got hired to write a story based off of an idea and are now told to write the exact same story, but without the idea. And that's exactly the type of situation that so many writers find themselves in. And I would not be surprised if a lot of these Sony Spider-Man universe movies have had very similar conversations bouncing around their meetings. It's maddening, and it does good for no one. So what are my solutions for this? It's the same.
Stop the propaganda.
Stop.
And don't hire idiots.
Yeah, but just stop watching the films. I mean, that's...
Well, that's what we're doing. Apparently, finally, people are not going to these movies.
Well,
or at least to a low enough degree.
If he's a critic, first off, he has to watch the film, and secondly, he has to criticize the film. He's not.
Does he have to pay for it?
I hope so. I mean, that's.
Well, his entire tirade here is basically, this movie is so bad, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to blame the system because nobody who made the movie is responsible for the movie being bad because it's all women. And I'm not allowed to say negative words about women, otherwise the wokeists come for me. So it's the studio system is bad. Things need to change. But better not say concretely what the actual problem is, so that nobody needs to feel insulted or responsible.
And yet, look at the comments. It didn't work.
Yeah, but the thing is. All this Hollywood thing and this ideology thing at the same time and this ideology has always been in Hollywood at large, comes with very big and very brittle egos. So if you call out the actual problem, if you name the beast, which is this propaganda doesn't work, it sucks, nobody wants this, and it's your whole shtick of the audience is dumb. They're just dumb people beneath us. They will eat everything. They will watch everything we give them. Doesn't work. That's not how reality works. And they can't force reality to change, which is what the ideology tells them they can. If they just push it hard enough, then people will adopt to it. They will take it because they're so starved. They will take anything. But
and
these are luxury goods.
Thankfully, reality is catching up.
Yeah, and this is not food and water. This is a luxury good. Movies are luxury goods. Video games are luxury goods. Board games, your trading card games, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, that's all luxury goods. A comic shop is full of nothing but novelty. And a comic shop that has all these things, back in the day, a store where you could buy video games, is nothing but something that sells you fun, that sells you emotions. And what Hollywood sells us are not positive emotions and not the thrills that a horror movie brings. It's not necessarily positive emotion, but it's like going on a roller coaster. You don't go on a roller coaster for the positive emotion necessarily, but for the scare, for the adrenaline rush. Hollywood is providing none of that. All Hollywood is providing us is boring drivel and things that make us feel secondhand shame, like feel ashamed for what we're watching. The German word is Fremdschämen. I know there is an English term for it. Like second-hand embarrassment. I think that's it.
Interesting. Okay.
When you watch these movies, these woke movies, this is all just all this garbage. Or see these games like what was it, Forspoken? You see this crap?
Yes.
You feel second-hand embarrassment just for seeing this on screen and see these lines and these characters. It's repulsive. If that is not an emotion that sells. That is, if you enjoy second-hand embarrassment, like watching cringe, that only works for when you have for example, you have a bunch of friends and you sit together and you watch a bunch of B movies, like things with very low budget that are a bit incompetently made, maybe meant well, maybe complete failures. The stuff that Red Letter Media watches in their free time. All this bad cringe stuff, the Wheel of the Worst and such
Wrong
things.
with their face.
Exactly, but those things aren't made to make you feel secondhand embarrassment. That's just the byproduct because they are so bad, because the product got so bad. But the thing is, those things still work because they were made with a genuine interest in making a movie. No matter how much they failed.
The Room.
Yeah, for example, a great example, beautiful example. But all these big budget woke movies and these shows that they destroy, these characters that they destroy, the Obi-Wan show was a big example. The second-hand embarrassment you feel from that is not this enjoyable thing that you get when you watch these trash movies. It's just, I can't quite put it into words yet, but it's like they're not made. They don't have this genuine aspect to them that all these standard trash movies have. These complete failures, like what is it? What's the name? The crazy guy that Red Letter Media basically made famous. Made like 6 movies that are all him in front of a green screen where he types on 6 laptops at the same time because he's the super awesome guy. But what was his name?
It's been a while. I can't.
Neil
Sounds
Breen.
familiar.
Neil Breen, yes. This past year, I've forgotten all names of all people. It's horrible. Next year, probably Soup. But, well, you have to bear with me until then. But yeah, this is... Neil Breen made these movies with genuine intent. And that's why it's in a strange way fun to watch that. That secondhand embarrassment is fun. But the woke propaganda is not fun. God of War Ragnarok is not fun. It is bad secondhand embarrassment. That's the difference.
All right, we are at 12:15 or 12:13 rather. Okay, a few more minutes.
Same solution I've said for a couple years now, because I've started to make more discussion-based videos about the industry and how we can communicate with them and get better films and start to enjoy the theater-going experience more, and not just hope that a great film like Godzilla -1 comes out of Japan so that we can enjoy that here. And it's the same thing I've always said. They hear us through our wallets. If a movie comes out that is genuinely great and we happen...
So the big discussion is
Vote,
that
vote with your wallet.
yeah, but that's
He's
not
he's at least
It's
right
not-
about that.
yeah, but you don't have to make a
It's not
series
made
of
for you, and it's also your fault the movie flopped.
you don't have to make a series of videos saying don't go see this film, don't spend money. That's like duh. Yeah, we get it. How about all those submissions you put to
But do people really get it though?
yeah, like, do you know the people's emails? I'm going to email this producer. It's like, okay. I mean, good luck. You don't want to bomb anyone. They're going to block you. Like, go annoy them on Twitter. It's like, that's not going to work. You're not going to change people's minds. I'm sorry.
I get the feeling that since this fanatical grip let loose a bit, since this worldwide signal that seems to have gone around came last year. People who've been in the bubble, who've been afraid to say anything against the dogma because they're afraid to lose their careers, of course, have been trying to slowly feel their way out. And maybe that's what Chris is doing here.
I mean, Steve Shives did some time ago.
Yeah, really? Is his home whale allowed him that?
Oh yeah, right. Star Trek
Remember
Discovery's...
the last time we covered him. Remember the last time we covered him, we found out that he got a divorce with his wife.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Remember?
I didn't know that.
What was it? Batman doesn't need to be a billionaire. That was the video. When we covered that one, we found that little factoid out about Steve.
Was I not on then?
Have
I forgotten?
I'm trying to remember.
I must have forgotten too.
Steve, you're free.
Did he realize that Discovery is a horrible show with horrible writers and bad production value and all this other crap that he just keeps parroting?
Maybe.
I've forgotten all of that.
Well, he made all those videos about Star Trek being this left-leaning, hyper-futuristic world. You're like, dude, no, chill.
Wait, Steve was married?
Yeah, but look, now there's a chance for Steve to get his feedback on the ground.
Well, let's not,
because that will not happen when you have a crazy feminist wife who hates men.
Let's not dwell on someone's personal life. Anyway, let's keep going.
Before you hit play, yes, Whisp, you were on that one with us.
Okay.
I repressed the memory.
That's fantastic. But then buy it to own the Blu-ray of it. Let them know, like, this is more like it. And that's what we're getting with Oppenheimer. It's what we're getting with Barbie. When you see a movie where it's like, okay, that creator, Greta Gerwig, took an IP, Barbie, and made a completely original movie out of it, and it became the highest grossing film of the year, and it's nominated for multiple Oscars, even though
you had something going there and you fumbled it.
Did she really do that? I mean,
it did sell, yeah.
I mean, I saw parts of it. It was just
not for the reasons intended.
Yeah, exactly. That was capitalized on fucking memes.
People still believe, or at least on the left, they still believe that Barbie was a success because it was what the author intended. When the opposite is true, it was a success because it was the opposite of what the author intended. This is so beautiful. They're so delusional. They're so caught in their own madness.
With Barbie, basically, the movie got its money because of the memes, like Eric said.
Because I'm curious how well that would have performed if it was right next to Oppenheimer and they didn't have Ryan Gosling, literally me.
Yeah, I think the Oppenheimer thing that was a side bonus. The movie itself being the opposite of what it was supposed to be. I think that was the real reason it kept going.
Okay.
By the way, that song won awards apparently.
Yeah, and who got the award? It was
man.
Yeah, it was because he's Kenneth.
Laughed my ass off when that happened.
Director. They hear that. They understand, all right, so IP-ish, but original. Got it. And that's okay. Like, there's so many openings for filmmakers to take very original ideas into things. In an ideal, perfect industry, the filmmaker-studio relationship would be more of an understanding, loving relationship. But the problem right now is that so many studio executives, people who are making the decisions, did not come from a place of creativity. They were potentially managers or agents.
Neither did the
outside
writers.
Of the creative space in Hollywood who worked their way into a place where they're now.
Are you saying the problem is the bourgeoisie and we should get the guillotines?
And the gallows?
Man, it's always that damn bourgeoisie, isn't it?
Telling creatives what to do. That's not the case for all of them, but it is the case for many of them. And they don't have ideas. They just have like inklings of what the market might want. Not
even that. They don't give a shit about the market. That's the whole problem. No. They don't give a shit about the market.
Literally, we were literally going to say the same thing. I was just about to. They don't give a shit.
It's about the message.
I'm curious what they... I don't know if you guys have heard of pre-marketing, where you do a survey and you ask people what they want. Like, would you like to buy something like this, even though it's not available, it's like, yes, we would like to buy X. It's called either a waiting list or I can't remember the exact term, but it just gets some data together so that when you present or pitch an idea, you say, hey, I've got a response of 1,000 people who want this product. And you go, oh, really? And it could be like, that's what they did with, what was it, the Cybertruck and the Series 3 or whatever the
pointy car?
Tesla, whatever the Tesla, the expensive sports car was from Tesla.
The block car.
He had a waiting list. He's like, well, do you want this car? Even though they designed it, it's like, well, is anyone going to buy it? Well, let's find out. And they did. And that's why they made it. And that's why they made money, is because people wanted the thing. They asked people first, and then they produced it. The same with the Cybercar. Everyone who...
No, really? Is that what happened?
Same with the Cybertruck. Because everyone thought no one's going to buy this weird-looking, whatever truck, whatever it looked like. But they asked people.
That's a stupid novelty that people wanted.
It's
Because
the same with the flamethrower he made. No one's going to... This is a really bad idea. Don't buy the flamethrower. People wanted it, so they made it. They made a bunch of money. And
if I had the money, I would have bought one. Because why wouldn't you? But I couldn't. Because it's illegal in Germany. But I would have bought one.
And they only produced like 16,000 or 20,000 because they don't.
Way too few.
They just did it for the sake of it, not to sell, to make money. Because why would you buy? Like, you don't buy flamethrower. That's a bad idea.
Of course, you buy a flamethrower. If Spaceballs taught us anything, it's that you want merchandise.
Well,
you want Spaceballs the flamethrower.
The whole point.
You want Tesla the flamethrower. Tesla the flamethrower sounds a bit contradictory, but I'll take it until we get the actual Tesla gun.
The point is that you have to do pre-marketing to figure out where to go with your enterprise and what is your company going to be about. And you do that for pretty much everything. It's fairly cheap. All you need to do is open up a free survey account online on all kinds of survey websites and email people and say, do you want the thing? It's like, yeah, I want the next version of Superman to be Superman from the 70s or the 80s. It's like, oh, okay, we'll do that. Like,
unless you're Games Workshop, then you're proud you're not doing any marketing research.
Yeah, well, anyway. 2 minutes left, almost. Yeah, almost 2 minutes.
To go towards this path because that movie sold really big. People are looking for this. Our Netflix algorithm is suggesting that we need to make a movie about kung fu pirates who also cook. Like,
man, that would be amazing.
Happening, and it sounds like a joke, but I'm swear to you, it's not.
See, that's fine. That's fine if you did the data and people actually honestly say, "I want to see Johnny Depp cook" or whatever. Yeah. I would see. Yeah, that's if enough
with
people say
ninjas.
that.
Sure.
Ninjas and pirates. Yeah, that'd be great.
Cast Gordon Ramsay.
Existed at the same time.
Gordon Ramsay as the ninja.
It would be historically accurate to have a pirate ship with ninjas that are cooking. That is, you can make that. It would be not historically accurate, historically believable.
Sure.
I'm like using this term here,
Imagine that as an anime. God.
Yeah.
It's called One Piece. Anyway.
Yeah. Just
you can get some Victorian inventor on board as well, all the same time. A cowboy from the Wild West. It was a wacky time on this planet. It looks like time travel, but no, it happened all in the same years.
Okay. Here is Vladimir one more time. Don't buy the flamethrower. I'm going to have to report you to the nearest democracy officer for anti-freedom speech, Smud. That would be pretty amazing if you guys actually had a guy or person in charge of the Constitution saying, this person violated the First Amendment. It's like, what? What are you talking about? That'd be hilarious.
The flamethrower will only be used against enemies of democracy and freedom of speech, which, of course, well, that would be... Freedom of speech is now anti-democratic, I've heard, so we are in a bit of a conundrum here.
I would be interested in how it cooks a steak, because you could use a butane torch, but if you want to use a frickin' flamethrower, that means you're spreading hot liquid onto the meat, which would just incinerate it. So it's like, I don't know if that's a good idea.
You don't put the hot liquid on the meat. You flame it with the flamer.
Yeah, but it's you're launching.
Let's say flame on.
You're launching. What is it? The I can't remember the liquid in the flamethrower mixture that's particleized and lit on fire. So it is liquid. It's moisture. Anyway, doesn't matter.
People have been put in positions of power who want to be creative but aren't creative. But they're put in a position where they now have to tell creatives what to do. And that's why you're seeing a lot of these things that you're seeing in film lately. And the hopes are that more filmmakers are able to break through with like an indie film. Look at Nolan. He was able to kind of prove himself. He took those steps. You know what I mean? In the case of a lot of these filmmakers who make their first movie as a giant studio film, the studio does not look at that filmmaker as if they are an equal. They look at them as if they're someone they can boss around and tell them what to do because they're paying the bills. And what have you done exactly? And that's a lot of what we're seeing now. So pay for movies that are good.
Welcome to reality.
Keep paying for movies that are good. That's the only way that we...
This is your message? Okay.
Yeah, we tried to do this for years. We tried to advocate this for years. And then we got shaped. I don't know if you were part of this because I didn't watch your content, Chris. But anytime we advocated for vote with your wallet, we were called sexists, misogynists, racists, homophobes, transphobes.
You might have advocated for it.
I'm trying to remember.
180.
I'm trying to remember the last Smudcast we did on Chris Stuckmann, where he was like praising the James Bond film, where James Bond fucking dies, and now the black woman can take over. It's like, look at his recent reviews of the fucking movies. Like, his words don't really line up with his actions.
Oh, he's excusing those crap movies with those crap decisions that make them into crap that nobody wants to watch?
I was going to say something, but there's nothing worth talking about in this response. So anyway.
Just say it.
In the end, do what we all want, is to see good movies and have fun watching them and feel inspired. That's what we all want, right? We want to see good movies. So thank you, as always, for
Why would you want to be
I look forward
inspired?
to more videos very soon. I've got another feature presentation video coming out this Sunday. I'm very excited about it.
All right.
Is it a Shelby Oaks?
Yeah.
I think we're done.
All he's recommending, that I understood from a practical standpoint, is go to film festivals if you like film. It's like, thanks.
Well, let's at least hear the
That's we already did that.
Yeah.
So, guys, what did you think about this video?
It wasn't horrible. Yeah, he's Stuckmanized. That's all you can say. It wasn't outright god awful. It's just Stuckmanized.
I'm just like, where was this attitude with other films, But I don't know. I guess we can't blame women for anything.
Anyway, memes.
All right. Here's one more super chat from Vladimir. I mean, you could always use bleach and ammonia, Whisp, for legal reasons. This is a joke. Don't do this.
No, of course.
I would never.
Joke.
All right, Smud. Memes start with Cowboy Bebop.
What?
The person, not the...
Oh. All right, there it is. When I'm in a being a spineless fence sitter and movie studio shill competition, and my opponent is Chris Stuckmann.
Oh, that's not the top.
You skipped quite a few.
Yeah,
That's
you
not
have
the
to
top.
scroll up again.
The first one is King
It's a
Ghidorah.
Ghidorah meme.
Just keep going when you see it until you see it.
All right, there it is.
To this I add Venom, Let Them Be Carnage, Madam Web, and Morbius. To this I say modern Sony Pictures in a nutshell.
Mulholland Drive. Watching 12 Angry Men and imagining a Seinfeld where George reverses it, spitefully convincing 11 jurors to convict an innocent person because of a perceived slight.
Did that actually happen, or is that just the meme?
Well, if you watch the movie, I mean, you'll figure that out. But I guess
I know I've seen a decent amount of the movie. I got to sit down and watch the whole thing, but I know the basic gist.
Okay.
I also want to never again watch Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, you see, here's
It's
the
a good
old
movie,
Chris
but I don't ever want to watch it again.
Yeah, you see, with Eric right here giving us a glimpse at the old Chris Stuckmann.
Okay.
He's a little bit thinner.
That can be the lens. I think that's the lens.
All right. So
It is the lens, but that's basically what he looked like back then.
I guess we put Stuckmann into the Hall of Shame. Is that it?
That's Chris, and who's the other guy?
Yahtzee.
Oh!
Is that what he looks like, really?
Yeah, that is Yahtzee.
We've pretty much forgotten
when he
about
was
Yahtzee.
younger,
Yeah, we've
He
forgotten.
looks way worse now.
Yahtzee the Nazi!
I won't go that far. But
This retard is acting a fool. What? Rip off his nuts? What? And what is this?
let's not go that far, but
What me to Chris? Yeah, that's a bit.
That's
too
not a
much.
meme.
no.
That's not a meme. That's just an insult and a call for violence. Please stick to memes.
Just don't.
A good Craven design.
Anyway, it's like, but the last one. What happened to old Chris? He had his personality, charisma, energy, and testosterone drained from his body.
And this one I already covered.
Yes.
5 Invisible Man TV shows. Hot damn.
Jesus.
58, 75, 76, 84, and 2000.
Why'd they call it Gemini Man in 76?
Yeah, that's weird. That is.
Is that real or is that a
Is that
Photoshop?
David McCallum? Wow, he's really young.
Really?
He
He's
died.
got that
Horribly haircut.
Yeah, McCallum died
Yeah,
last year.
metrosexual haircut.
Yeah, they finally did a expose, I think, last week on the show he was a part of, NCSIS. So
And then, since this is my Madam Web, I provided a certain Spider-Man tidbit here.
Oh no. What's wrong? It's Mary Jane. She dies. Tonight. Right there at Alchemax.
How do you know? For shock's sake, Parker, what part of Don't Poke Around in the Archives was unclear?
Fine. I'm a nosy Parker. But now that I found out,
It's what? My job to save her? I've got enough to deal with.
you can't mean that. You can't just ignore that she's in danger.
Hey, I'm trying to focus on what's
We're watching the
important.
clip
What's
that I put in.
important is not standing by and allowing someone to suffer or die because you do nothing. If you don't get that, then you don't get the first thing about being Spider-Man.
You're the one who doesn't get it, Parker. The future depends on...
My future is meaningless without her.
This is gonna be a huge mistake.
I owe you, Miguel. Big time.
Shocking right you do. But, well, maybe this will help even the score for everything the world owes you.
Thank you. I mean that. Oh no.
What's wrong?
okay.
So yeah, that is, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you write Spider-Man.
A little different than the Flashpoint paradox, I think, when someone wants to save a loved one and the whole universe doesn't blow up.
It's in a similar, well, Edge of Time is in a similar vein to Flashpoint, just more simplified.
Yeah.
But this does get the point across.
Okay, here's Good God, Madam Web, not the boom mic cameo. Is that?
By the
that's-
way, that is a really tough job. I did that once for a student film, and oh man,
Yeah,
It's-
arms get tired.
you develop some muscles just doing that job.
Better help when worse help walks in. Okay. All right, ladies, it's webbing time.
Oh no!
Oh my God, John Cena.
That's
That's funny.
That's a hell of
Where did he come from? I don't think that he's part of the film, is he?
Yeah, he is. You just don't see him.
Oh. After watching Madam Web, I forgive you.
Morbius.
Is Morbius the prequels of Marvel?
Maybe, I don't know.
Morbius should be in phase 1.
Oh.
Phase 0.
I will stick with that.
All right, here is have ability to be invisible and spy stalk anyone alive. This is who you choose. I can only suspend my disbelief so far.
You gotta be shitting me if that's the movie that amazes him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a doctor? Wow.
I guess.
That is
That's the standard British attire.
That's all good without doctors.
Yeah.
Okay. This is how the world sees Great Britain. Yeah. They didn't even have his iconic disco collar.
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh, that's a shame, huh?
Even the animated series got that right.
Oh, darn.
Which for context, Morbius was in the Spider-Man animated series in the 90s, and they did adjust it. despite changing, sucking blood with absorbing plasma, but they still got the point across with that.
Plasma is blood, but okay. I don't want to watch...
I mean, they made it a bit more of a scientific thing with that, but they still got the point across.
I don't want to watch you, Morbius. I wouldn't want to watch me either.
Oh boy.
Sony waiting for someone to pirate Madam Web. Oh.
And not even that.
Always so scathing when it's you can find movies from the 70s, 80s, sometimes even earlier, easily. And this woke stuff, it's sometimes really hard to find on the pirate sites. Because nobody shares this.
Yeah, exactly.
How many shows are in this image?
Yeah, I see Chainsaw. I see a bunch of...
I can name all of these. I think.
Isn't that Hero Academia?
No. I think Attack on Titan. Comey.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I eat plenty. Are you sure, Spud? You look scrawny. Well, yeah, okay. Maybe I should eat some more, but I get full, so I'm happy. I eat lots of protein. Let's just say. Why an Eternals movie would be hard to make? Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's easy, but with all that talent, it should have been able to pull off.
And they didn't.
Once Eternals ended up getting an iffy critical response, assumptions of this were raised. The Eternals have never been a major focus, with only a handful of short-lived, loosely connected series. I mean, sure. There is a lot of lore behind them dating back all the way to the Jack Kirby days. This can make it difficult for new readers. Who cares? It's not hard. It is likely why Marvel had so rarely promoted or pushed for them, possibly. As many reviewers have noted, the film feels overstuffed, and a lot of that can be pointed to this issue. There's also the fact that the sheer power level of the group combined with their remember the new guy treatment within the MCU leads to Superman stays out of Gotham issues, making them a difficult group to integrate into an all... Well, that's the same with any other superhero in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, but with that, specifically, with that, it was even worse because they are so detached from the rest of the Marvel mythos.
Yeah, but with them specifically, the Eternals are a perfect example as to what they messed up with the MCU by not planning it out properly. Because if you had this, if you sit down and go about, okay, we're gonna make a cinematic universe, that means it can't all just be these singular episodes where nobody bothers any of the other heroes, but you actually think about what would this world be.
It can
reimagine it in a consistent manner, and that means we eventually will cover the Eternals. That means we already need to have them have glimpses, have them have in the background, have them talk to someone, but nobody knows it is one of them. And eventually, when we get to them, you uncover them the same way that you uncover the Infinity Stones. We slowly get into that thing in the background. And then we also learn why they didn't help with any of the other things. Because that's not why they're there. They're not there to save the planet in that sense.
Well, this is the same problem with the adaptation of the Infinity War Gauntlet story. I mean, there's so many characters, there's so many gods lying around that get caught up in the story that it's not possible to put that into a film, or at least a film, let alone a series of films. So it's like you have to cut back on something. I thought they would have done like Galactus and the Silver Surfer, because he's pretty, pretty
they good. Might now, considering that Fox is under Disney now.
They wouldn't remake it, I don't think.
Well, yeah, but the Eternals announced the Fantastic Four, though.
Can we have
I was gonna say with the Eternals also had the potential to, within the MCU, answer a lot of questions, and the fact that the movie came out the way it did, it's like, that proves that they did not give a shit to do that.
Okay, so The Drinker made a good movie review on why so many movies are expensive and on how to fix them. Okay, cool. More. Oh, jeez. Jared, what are you doing?
Oh, that's great.
I mean, what exactly is drinkers' ratio of good to bad takes, though?
I don't know.
If anyone can tell me, like, it's like critical drinkers' ratio of good takes to bad takes. Like, if anyone can tell me,
I can't tell because I zoned out from him when he made excuses for God of War.
Oh shit! Did he?
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a very
When you can't see when you can see the woke crap everywhere, but in that game where it's blaring into your face all the damn time with every single woke trope, what the hell is wrong with you? Then I can't trust your judgment on anything.
Maybe it's nostalgia. I mean, I don't know.
what nostalgia?
They try to play on nostalgia, but there is nothing nostalgic
Now,
about that except that here's the big Greek guy with the red tattoos.
Right.
They're playing into this. They played into the nostalgia now with the DLC.
The DLC. Yeah.
The gameplay doesn't even have
then-
to do anything with God of War. It's just generic crap fight thing.
What are you laughing at, Smud?
That DLC
Not even it's boring generic fight thing.
There's a
That
fortune.
DLC was if I can say before you say that, the DLC for that game was a spit in the face. Okay, which one are you guys on?
The 4chan post. It's pretty good.
Invincible, not invisible.
You can't even respond to that. It's just like anon. I
don't know what to tell you.
Sony to Uncle Ben after rebooting Spider-Man for the 4th time. Oh.
Okay, get in.
Put in Batman's parents as well.
Hello, Mufasa from The Lion King. Hello, Gwen Stacy from The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, double post. Moving on. We'll build a new Lego Death Star.
Chris, when he sees an unlicked Hollywood executive boot.
Spider Randy.
Wait, what?
The next one.
I know you love the GOT.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know you love the Guardians of the Galaxy because they take place in a kooky cosmic setting of Marvel. But have you ever given Green Lantern a shot?
Have I said that I love the Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't think I used those words.
Yeah, I
And I do like. I did like very much so the 3D animated series that sadly didn't get a second season because the movie flopped that everybody hated.
Was that the one that was Rocket and Groot?
What?
Wait,
No,
which
I'm
one?
talking about the Green Lantern series.
Oh no! Oh, that was amazing.
Oh,
That was bloody
I remember
gorgeous.
And they even acknowledged it in what was it? Young Justice season 3. They brought Razor back,
Cool.
where they make him a hybrid between Red and Blue Lanterns.
Purple?
No, half and half red. One half red, one half blue. Ring in each finger. Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually
That's
continued his
pretty
arc
cool.
there. Yeah, they actually
That's pretty
continued
cool.
his. Yeah, they continued his arc in Young Justice, and
Yeah.
it paid off.
Yeah, and that series solved the Superman problem by we have the main hero, he's perfect, he saves the day. We know that's boring. Let's focus on everyone else.
They focused on the writing. Yeah.
Yeah. All the characters in that show were interesting and had arcs.
Well, the Hal Jordan in that show is far from perfect. They just made him a really good character.
Yeah, but he still was the top hero who comes to save the day.
So,
and then they brought in Guy Gardner, and he was even better.
So the Critical Drinker actually
I hate
made
that guy.
The Critical Drinker actually made a trailer for a movie he made, or just a movie trailer for
This is the one. Shelby Oaks.
No,
No, Critical Drinker.
Yeah.
Oh, Drinker. Where? The next one.
Cyberframe.
Where are we?
I'm on Helldivers. Never thought I'd die side by side an Xbox player. How about side by side a friend? I could do that.
Oh,
Hey, I could do that.
automatons, aliens in general, termines,
Kubo
Terminids.
and 2 strings.
That's the one that Wisp likes.
Yes.
Oh.
What year did that come out again?
19?
Okay, I'll check. Hold on.
We can watch it on the weekend if
20
you want.
Oh God, 2016. Wow.
They never and they never got to that level again. I hope they will at some point.
That's a interesting connection.
Where you at?
Toby in Spider-Man 3.
Bully Maguire.
That should have been the movie.
That would have been hilarious. He just comes in, he's got venom. Oh, this channel is about celebrating films, not criticizing them. Oh,
Just went full retard.
are you
He
sure?
literally he criticized the studios that make the films, but okay.
Everything is awesome.
Vice X Hero.
Oh, yeah.
Sydney Sweeney will wear the black and white Spider-Woman suit in Madam Web.
And someone got thrown out of a theater for jacking off to her.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Like,
It's Madam time. It's Webbin time. Oh God.
I'll take women time.
correct, madam.
Correct.
Cries about Red Letter Media. Wait.
RLM?
A Red Letter Media joke. He was.
They went, hey, which one's the guy with the prick with the red curtains behind him? And it's like there's a bunch of them, and it just showed Armored Skeptic, Jeremy Johns, and then Chris Stuckmann on the third image. He got so upset over it, even though it's like, hey, they acknowledged you, man.
They know you exist.
Wow, this is a very specific meme. It's replaced with the Helldiver guy.
Yeah, this is a meme that came out of the server limits being reached in Helldivers 2, hence the update, hence the recent update.
I gotcha. That's good.
Servers were filling up so much because of how good the game is.
Right.
If they do to American Girl what they did to Barbie, I'd be pissed to see.
Oh, believe me, it's only a matter of time.
Okay.
Still not a meme.
Flamethrower when water thrower shows up. Water thrower?
So fire hose.
Have you ever tried extinguishing napalm with water?
No.
Doesn't work.
How would you know anything about that, Wisp?
Reasons?
This next one.
His historical bird.
Wait. Stuckmann was part of
Another
Channel Awesome?
Another Channel Awesome alumni on the chopping
But
block.
you didn't tell me you had the. You didn't tell me you had the Death Note.
Let's go down the list. Nostalgia Critic, Linkara, Lindsay Ellis, Renegade Cut, Bennett the Sage, Dominic Noble, Amazing Atheist, Angry Joe, Masako X, and now Chris Stuckmann.
Are you gonna eat a potato chip while you're doing it?
Who's next?
Virtus Joe, come on, somebody needs to take care of that.
Was Joe on?
No.
Tabernacle?
No, he couldn't have been.
Red.
Starship Troopers is a satirical
Red on Channel Awesome?
skewering of the jingoism of the military-industrial complex while lampooning the xenophobia of right-wing nationalists. What?
Okay.
The only good bug is a dead bug. The only good bug is I don't know what the hell he's saying.
The only good bug is a dead bug.
Should that be a single-digit IQ rather than 100?
Oh, that's just what this describes is what is called the midwit problem. Because only people of average intelligence have enough intelligence to be fooled by really ridiculous propaganda that they think is super intelligent, but are not intelligent enough to see through it. While the truly intelligent can see through the propaganda, or at least have the capability for it, and the people who are too dull for the propaganda to work, well, they just see things for what they are. They are not capable of being confused by the propaganda. They just go I don't understand that. The bug is bad. Let's kill the bug. That's the problem are the people of average intelligence. It's really funny. The database is really funny.
The Shelby Oaks merch.
I'm kind of curious what this is, and thus Madam Web was born. What is this?
That's 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, it is? Oh my god.
Blu-ray.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because she was in that too.
That was the old poster, right?
I think this is for 50 Shades Darker.
Man removed from Madam Web screening for. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep, I just said it earlier.
Hopefully called Saul Goodman. The best.
The real Madam Web. Oh, was she in the Amazing Spider-Man?
In the 90s.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes. By the way, voiced by Stan Lee's wife.
Really?
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that how they ended the series? They were doing the Spider-Verse shit again.
It was planned to have you could say it's Spider-Verse, but it's like it was before the concept was overdone.
Yeah, I know.
Back then in the 90s cartoon, it was a very big deal for them to do that at the end of the show.
Oh,
Anyway,
Wait, are you telling me all the people on that list in that meme before, they were
Channel
all
Awesome.
part of Channel Awesome?
Yes.
Oh.
Amazing Atheist was on Channel Awesome?
I remember for a little bit, but yes.
Holy shit.
yeah.
Oh no.
Anyway,
Who's missing?
I forgot Dominic Noble and Folding Ideas were on there as well. Shit.
Anyway, guys, that was 2 hours of us trying to figure out what Stuckmann was trying to say about, or not trying to say about.
We were being trying.
Yeah.
Saying without saying.
About the industry of the Marvel sausage factory, I think. I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, maybe there's hope for him. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a lot to say about it,
More
but that was
specific-
a
Hollywood
very
Sausage Factory.
that was a very roundabout way of doing so, and I hope if he has more examples to talk about, like actual producers that maybe he talked to, or submissions that didn't go anywhere, like that would be interesting. But it's like, dude, we know it sucks. Tell us why.
Yeah, critique the thing, please.
Theoretically, it's because of the studio. It's like, I agree, but can you connect the dots? Maybe.
That's why, like, a lot of the comments are like, say you're not critiquing, or you're not critiquing, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well,
It's like, oh, come on.
the comments are great. The ratio is not enough, but I guess people still like him. So good on him, I suppose. He's just a very friendly
He
fellow.
knows how to play with audiences.
I guess it's just like, dude, just be honest, say what you mean, and get it over with. Don't just like, oh, the studio is interfering. It's like, yeah.
I am happy. I am happy that in his very soft milk toast fence sitting chair or whatever that is he's standing on, he does say, "Vote with your wallet."
Yeah.
That is the good thing we can take from it.
Well, I'm gonna go make my top 5 list.
Until his next video,
Yeah.
where he says, "Go see it. It has ideas."
I'm going to make my top 5 list of games I'm interested in this year. If you guys want to follow suit, that'd be great. I'm going to post it on the community tab and just reply to that and tell me what. There's all kinds of games that came out last year I haven't touched, and there's going to be a whole bunch this year I haven't touched either, or won't be touching, unfortunately. But I'll slowly get there. So, but I will do that soon. Yeah, and just tell me what's new in that world of gaming, because I think that's the only world that we can be happy with. And there's so much of it, like manga, that we can pick and choose and spend our money wisely. So anyway, thanks guys for
Smart.
what.
Had you seen one of the original Baldur's Gate 2 directors made a new studio.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
No idea.
I have to look. Wait, I have it here. Over here on the mosquito kill thing. Beneath that.
Mosquito coil.
James Olin.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, he founded Archetype Entertainment.
Yeah.
Great name. And is making a game called Exodus together with
Yep.
Matthew McConaughey. Yes.
Yeah, that was a big deal during the Game Awards, I think. We saw the trailer. They're slowly releasing other trailers. They introduced a female in a mech, or was just the mech with a female voice, and it sounded really cringy. But, it's about time travel, and there's other things going on. So that's...
Oh, no.
Well, it's time travel as a result of light speed. So it's like, okay, cool enough.
Okay,
Yeah.
sci-fi time travel is okay.
There you go. Yeah. So, yeah, it feels
Science.
very Mass Effect-ish. That's true. But we don't know until we see some gameplay. So, who knows?
Okay.
Couldn't tell you. But it's a lot different than anything I expect from the other game studios that were made by other executives from BioWare. And I'm kind of curious where Hudson is going with that. The only other game that I'm interested in was made by another alumni, Aaron Flynn, who's doing the Nightingale release. It's in early access right now. And they're trying to make it offline mode because right now it's full online mode and everyone hates that. So they're going to, obviously, they're going to fix that hopefully soon. And once they fix that, I might spend some money. I might actually buy it and try it in pre-release. So who knows? Anyway, I'll make my list and post it. You guys do your same top 5 this year, 2024. And get back to us on the Discord. We'd love to read about them because gaming is always a bigger topic than bad movie reviews. So anyway, thank you so much.
To us the YouTube pleasantries, if possible.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to read the thing from Angry Joe in the comments section, just go to the comments of this video or his video. And I mean, all the comments are great. They're fun.
Make the algorithm happy.
Yeah, there you go. I don't think Chris Stuckman's a bad guy. I just think he's too nice for his own good. I don't know.
Careful. Let's say careful.
Yeah.
Ignorant. I don't know.
Anyway, guys, have a great Friday. We'll talk to you soon. Good night.
Nice.
More bow.